Hey, I'm Vishal Krishna. I'm the founder and editor of theupstreamlife.com. But before we go into the conversation, I want you to like and subscribe because that's what keeps me happy. That's what keeps Manas happy. By the way, Manas is the co-founder of DrinkPrime. We're going to be talking about water, but you tell me, what are we going to talk about, Manas?
Thanks for having me, Vishal. It's a pleasure. We will talk a lot about the thing that constitutes of 80%, 90% of the human body, which is water. What is safe water? What is healthy water? What goes inside the water that you drink, and what you as an individual can do to keep yourself safe and healthy in this environment.
So the water ecosystem is what we're going to discuss. We're going to talk about water sustainability. We're going to be talking about healthy water that keeps your family safe. Okay, that's the primary reason. Again, I'm ending this by saying like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Enjoy the podcast. Manas, thank you for coming to the studio now. When I started, you were one of the first few people who did an interview with me. DrinkPrime hadn't raised money. I had just started. It was interesting. And then now we've gone on to do many things. You've reached 300K plus households, getting close to 1 million, I'm sure, very soon. And today we're talking about water. And it's summer. It's a great time to talk about water. What's the space of water look like, at least from a drinking water perspective? Where does India stand today? What's the market opportunity for you? And there's lots of competition. If you can define the business of water, we start there. And then let's follow up on other questions.
Sure. Thanks, Vishal. So, Vishal, I'd like to tell you a little bit about, I would not like to talk in terms of consumer terms or commercial terms, but rather in terms of consumer terms. Right?
Yes, please.
So, water, whenever we say there's a problem with water, our mind always goes back to Thar Desert, where we are imagining a few ladies with mud cars stacked on top of each other, walking from their home, maybe miles to get access to clean, safe and healthy drinking water. But the problem of drinking water is much more closer to our homes than we realize. Just to give you a sense, today, 10 to 12% of Indian households maintain a water purifier, electronic water purifier. Electronic water purifier is bare minimum that is required for you to get clean drinking water in our cities. Compare that to, let's say, a TV. A TV is present in 65-70% of households. A refrigerator is present in 40% plus households, and AC, air conditioner, right? Air conditioner is present in 7 to 10%. So air conditioner penetration, which is quote unquote luxury in India. How many middle class people do you? I don't own AC. How many middle class people do you think own AC? I mean, in Bangalore we don't need a AC. That's different. But yeah, so water purifier penetration is abysmally low. That's number one. The second point.
So what is 1% at least?
No, 10-12% of homes have a water purifier compared to, I mean, it should be present in at least 70%, 80% of our homes, but it's just present in 10 to 12% of our homes. So it's an abysmally low number. There's a lot of, I won't say headroom for growth in those terms, but yeah, I would say there's a lot of scope of improvement. Now, how does India actually consume water? That's a very interesting statistics. The top 10 to 12% are users of water purifiers. They buy a water purifier by paying a hefty amount each year and spend 30 to 50% of the cost of the water purifier every year to maintain the water purifier. Then there's a lot of, then there are people who, let's say, are in the, who are in the middle segment, which is, let's say, 15% to, let's say, 50%, which is a good 35% of the chunk of people. These people rely on bottled water, those large, dirty 20-liter water cans.
I hate them, man.
Yeah, that we saw.
In my office.
Yeah, in your office, just when we were walking through, right? You do not know where they are, where they're getting filled, how old is the water. You do not know whether, I mean, obviously it's a very...
the cans, whether they're clean.
Yes, cans, whether they are clean. And we all hear a lot about microplastics. Microplastics in blood, microplastics in this, microplastics in food, etc. It doesn't take the rocket scientist to realize that those water in those water cans are filled with microplastics.
Yeah.
But still, people don't have a choice, and that's considered of a 35%. The last 50% of our people, government is actually doing a fairly decent job out there, where we have opened, I mean, in Bangalore, in every municipal area, you would see 1 to 2 water.
I've seen them.
Water ATMs, right?
They are groundwater.
So, I mean, they will draw the input water from the groundwater. Then there's a large-scale RO plant. People will stand in queue, 5 rupees or 7 rupees. They'll dispense a 20-liter water can. There are a couple of problems with that as well.
It's subvented, no? Government's paying for it.
Yes, government is subsidizing it.
Yeah.
While the government has been very prompt in installing it, in some parts of Bangalore, and primarily when I talk about pan India, we have not done a great job in maintaining it. It's very simple to understand that a water purifier is as good as its maintenance cycle. If we install all of these water ATMs all across our cities, we expect more people to use them. If the maintenance cycle are not up to the mark, if they are down maybe let's say 30-50% of the time, it doesn't serve the purpose. So that's another 30-40% are reliant on that. And the bottom 20-30% are just passing by, and they are reliant on say boiling water or just those hand pump and groundwater
in villages.
Yes, which when we started off, let's say when we were kids, I can go to most pumps in India. I mean, in fact, we were taught a pump, the groundwater
You
from
can
the
drink
pump
from there
is
directly,
is potable and is good for you. It has good.
We all grew up like that.
Yes, but today the situation may not be. May not be that good.
Because of the city pollution.
All the construction that is happening, all the mining work that is happening, the groundwater levels are going down year by year. Earlier, water used to come in Bangalore only at 300, 350 feet. Now, in many areas of Bangalore, up to 1,200 feet, 1,500 feet, there is no water. So the water has gone down, the water table has gone down a lot, and the water quality has deteriorated of groundwater a lot.
That's very sad.
So that's how India consumes drinking water.
It's also a health thing, right? In a sense, that I'm glad you gave me the overview of the entire market, not the market in terms of consumption,
Yes.
and not the numbers of money.
Yeah.
It's opportunity. Therefore, you're in that business.
Yeah.
But you're right. How is India really drinking water? It begs the question.
Yeah.
Is it safe? Is it hygienic? That was that was your hypothesis.
Yes. So people who own and maintain a water purifier, especially with a good quality water purifier and with proper maintenance cycle, more or less would be getting access to good drinking water, and safe. So in water terms, it's very important to separate these two words, safe and healthy. The basic necessity of a human being is to consume safe water. Now, the additional necessity is to consume healthy water. Healthy water is what is full of minerals, what is filled, what gives you some essential things like calcium, magnesium, and things like that. But that's still a step further. If the water is unsafe, you will fall sick tomorrow. You won't be able to show up to work tomorrow. You'll face diarrhea. You'll face, 70% of all the diseases in India are waterborne in nature. So,
Fantastically said. Let's go by working population and the water they drink, so that then we'll get into the business of DrinkPrime. India is home to all the software people, right?
Yeah.
And they all go to something called the Global Capability Centers, GCCs. The old days they were the BPOs, now they're the GCCs.
Yeah.
Right? They say there are about anywhere the 3 million people plus working in these places across different segments, Indian global centers and everything. How do they consume water? They consume water in those cans. I've seen cans everywhere brought by these caterers.
Yeah.
Right? Is that water? You said that's not healthy.
That's not healthy. That's full of in fact, when we started off in the year 2016, right? I'll tell you a little bit about our backstory. Interesting backstory.
Please.
So
I'm sure you were all engineers working.
Yes,
in these
we were engineers. We were working in all of those captive centers, as you said.
Yeah.
And we used to drink water out of those water cans. Why did we drink out of those water cans? Because we did not know how long would we be in that particular city in Bangalore. We always thought if we get a better opportunity, we'll move outside, wherever career takes us. And we faced some issues, like sometimes the water inside the can was dirty, sometimes it had floating particles, sometimes the can itself was dirty. And also logistical issues, like you reach home late from office, the neighborhood kirana store who used to deliver those water cans ran out of those water cans. So what do you do at the middle of the night? So we were facing all of these problems, and being engineers, what did we do first? We wanted to make an app. The app was called Waterwala. Vijay, my co-founder, coded the app, and I was responsible for getting customers to use that.
It was a platform.
Figure
out availability.
Yeah, availability and also hygiene of drinking. So as we started doing this business, we started realizing that the situation is a lot more grim than what it appears on face. To give you a sense, there are reports stating, and we saw outside, 8 out of 10 samples of these water cans did not meet government-approved ISI and BIS norms. It was that unregulated industry. But still people had no other choice, and they were reliant on these water cans. So we did that business, and when the time came to sort of pivot and get into it full time and sort of launch DrinkPrime, right? That's when we thought that, hey, let's build a water purifier product for people like us We don't want any commitment. We want to pay as we go.
Yeah.
We want someone to take care of the water quality. We want frequent maintenance, etc., to be taken care, so that that's one thing off our shoulder, of our head, right? We have got 100 things to worry about. Let's not worry about water.
And you didn't come from this industry, I'm sure.
We did not come from this industry. It took us a while. So hence, 2016 is when we officially launched the company. It took us 3 years of R&D just to figure out what goes inside a water purifier, who makes those components, what is good quality filter, what is a bad quality filter, what quality of filter is required according to which water quality, and things like that, right? So it took us 2-3 years to get the entire equation right. And 2018 is when we really started getting households to use our subscription service.
That's fantastic. So you're saying a lot of the Indians are not, in the software companies, let's say it out loud, they may not be drinking the right quality of water that'll, in the end, they have to work well.
Yes,
the water quality is not really up
absolutely,
to mark.
absolutely.
Let's call it out. It is the truth, isn't it?
Yes.
Nothing against those can suppliers, but the water purification is what matters.
Yes, even in cans, right? The market leader, which is the organized guy, just has 5 to 7% by volume. 90% of the industry is unorganized, which means there are small vendors in every 3 to 4 kilometer radius who use these water cans. And
It's interesting you say this, because even in apartments, I still see these water can guys. That tells me something of the Indian consumer. Let's stick to the software crowd itself, because we are in Bangalore.
Yeah.
And maybe it represents Pune, Hyderabad also, which is your market.
We are that crowd.
Correct, right? And they still go to these cans even in their households.
Yes.
When they graduate from this hostel, or what do you call it, PG boy
PG
or girl,
a shared accommodation.
And they still go for these cans. Yes. Is it because I know you do subscription and affordable costs and 3 varieties of ROs, right? You have I think you have.
We have a copper, we have alkaline, and we have a mineral plus.
Yes. So that's the thing, right? Why do they choose a can over this?
So most of them don't. In fact, 8 out of 10 customers that we get actually come to us from using water cans.
So they
So if you look at the industry, 6 out of 10 customers that come to a leading water purifier brand typically come from their old water purifier and upgrade to a new water purifier. We are catering to an entirely different segment. These people were water can users, hence our product, which is pay as you go and stuff like that. It is designed specifically for this target segment in mind. And of late, we are proud to say that we have been able to convert this crowd into our early adopters, and they have sort of been the engine of our growth. And since this segment is largely underserved, we were able to grow without spending relatively in marketing, and just by focusing on service and serving these guys well.
So these guys appreciate the fact that it's clean water now. And they ask for it, right? So you're saying the market is moving?
Absolutely, the market is
there a
moving.
maturity? Or do these boys or girls who join PGs ask for it? Or when they buy their own home, or not they buy their own, or they rent their own home kind of scenario?
So when we started off, we also thought that the market would be a lot younger than what it is. But a young person living in Bangalore, since we're talking about it, is more bothered about beer than water.
Yeah, absolutely. There's more beer consumed.
So.
There should be a per capita consumption of beer in Bangalore
we are the highest in India by far.
I agree.
So when these people graduate a little bit in their lives, when they take a home on rent by themselves, or maybe 2-3 people together, when they get engaged, when they get married, when they move in with their parents, when they have their first kid, any of these inflection points is when they feel more responsible, both towards their own health as well as the health of the people around them. And that's when they want to take the healthy decision. And that's when we have seen most people come to a platform like ours.
If you have to segment your 300K users at this point of time, what would they be? What would be the age? What would be their income brackets? And are they all married? How do you segment these people?
Sure, of course. So when we started, we also thought it will be a bachelor-heavy company.
Because it's subscription, it's affordable, or it's about 500 rupees or something per month.
500. It starts from 350 rupees and goes, 500 is the average subscription price that a customer pays. Because we were that user, right? But as we sort of grew this brand together, what we observed is that this is catering to one step further down. So today, 80% of my customer is coming from water cans. 60-70% of them are married. And 30-40% of them are young families, actually. And in terms of income-wise, on the lower end, they would be at 40K, 50K household income, and would go up to a few lakh rupees of monthly household income as well.
I want to take a step back and talk about being engineers from the software side, Manas. You have to realize getting into hardware.
Yeah.
It's a totally different ballgame. When I say hardware, yes, the electronics IoT component that you talk about, but it also has physical hardware like these panels, right? Glass, right? Fiberglass,
Yes.
right? Wires,
Yes.
and the bill of materials.
Yes, yes.
It's something that you learn in cost accounting and in perhaps in on the electronic side of things, right? When you're building a IoT product, the transition that you made, how difficult was it to find an OEM? Because let's call it out. There's a large OEM there's a brand that you compete against, and they have, like you said, they launched many products like kitchenware, air fryers, that on top of their purifiers.
Yes.
Good for them because they're large and they've been around heavily advertising on TV.
Yes.
For you as a challenging brand or a challenger brand, they call it, let's start from the basics. Where did you and Vijay start solving this? Okay, we're good at software. We can perhaps build a board, which is the electronic board and the IoT device, because in the end, it's also software, right? You can get somebody to build the hardware. How did you start doing the bill of materials for the product? And how tough the mistakes that you made? You were right. You asked me that question, right? 3 years, you will be just finding your feet, Vishal. Yes, that's true, right? I've also gone through that problem. So you can talk about those 3-4 years of hardships into the supply chain, building that supply chain. It's taken you 9 years.
Yeah.
And finally getting to 100 crores now with revenue.
Yeah.
That journey I want to hear, please.
Sure. So, hardware is hard.
Yes.
Any software engineer watching this, if you would give them a board and ask them to program a chip, it is far beyond their realm of expertise. Yes. Everybody would agree. And it took us a lot of while. Purification side, obviously, we knew it is going to be hard, but just the IoT part itself is also extremely hard. We tried different modes of communication, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. We even put a SIM card inside the thing so that it can communicate to us. And the product evolved, the communication module evolved across various stages. So that took its own journey. So luckily, we followed 2-3 separate paths. First is the user path, which is finding out who the user is, finding out what in the business model would get them excited, finding out...
that would be the safe water.
That's safe. We started with safe, but we are moving from safe to healthy.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to the healthy part. But early days was just safe. How do you solve it?
Yes. How do I solve it? How do I get reliable, safe water to
getting a manufacturer to do this, right? Were you manufactured out of Bangalore in the early days?
Yeah, so we did manufacture out of Bangalore, and we started. There were multiple interesting stories where we started. Where we started going to, let's say, local OEMs, right?
There are in Bangalore.
Yeah, there are a few around Bangalore, right, and the outskirts, Pune and whatnot. Then there are OEMs hub is there in Gujarat and in outskirts of NCR.
How was the reception when you guys went and said, "Look, we want
so this industry is fairly unorganized in nature."
But they're manufacturers.
Yes.
Who do they manufacture for?
So if you open Amazon today and just type in water purifier, you'd start seeing water purifiers all the way from 4,000 to maybe 30,000 rupees.
Oh, that means these are small shop entrepreneurs.
Yes, small shop entrepreneurs, small unorganized water purifier. So if you look at the water purifier industry as such, while we hear some 2-3 names that we have all been...
Because of the TV and IPL.
Yes, but there are hundreds and hundreds of manufacturers who manufacture their lookalike products and sell them at 30% the cost. Now the product looks like the same, and water is water. If I give you 2 glasses...
They have their own field sales force and all that?
No. They typically sell via the technician network. The technician who goes to service the product.
Say there's a product. Would you
Yes. Okay. Your water purifier is old and things like that. So so
you call a plumber, he will come and say, "Hey, I'll fix this."
Plumber and mostly RO water purifier technicians, right? RO water purifier technicians.
So they sell it saying, "Junk this, buy this," kind of thing. Wow.
Yes. Wow. And that's in fact, at least a couple of years back, that was 35 to 40% of all the water purifiers sold in India were these unbranded water purifiers.
So that no wonder you said only the largest guy in the segment owns only 10% of market share. The organized guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 50%.
No, that was water cans.
Yes.
Water purifier, the largest player owned 20%.
20%?
Yeah,
wow.
20%.
Still an opportunity. So 50% is by these unorganized manufacturers. It's an interesting, the story is going down a rabbit hole. So you went there to these guys.
Yeah, who would listen to us? Yes. So we went there. We understood.
Did they even try to steal your idea?
No.
But they were okay to manufacture.
Everybody told us it can't be done.
Why?
too many moving parts. There's IoT moving part, there's subscription moving part. Nobody was ready to trust the customer. Like what
So for them, it was just a plain RO membrane filter.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So they used to tell, what do you want? You want a RO? I will assemble one and give it to you by evening.
And this RO material comes, where is it? What is the source membrane?
So again, some of it is petroleum byproduct, some
Yeah.
of it is something, but there are different qualities out there. I mean, just
It's all
because
Chinese made?
no.
Indian
Yeah. There's an interesting reason behind that, right?
Again, going down and down.
So, should talk about it. So
Yeah.
if you look at your TV or a fridge, the global brands are the brands that are
Correct,
present in your home.
correct.
Who are they? LG,
Yeah,
Samsung, Sony,
Yeah.
Philips, let's say whatever, right? If you look at a water purifier, these global brands are nowhere to be seen. Have you seen a Sony water purifier? Have you seen a Philips?
Are they in that business?
No.
Philips maybe.
No, Philips was there recently. They
Air
moved out.
purifier, yeah,
Yes.
correct, yes.
LG is just very nascent compared to the business of fridge, let's
Yeah,
say.
which
Or
is huge,
yeah,
which is
water purifier is very nascent. The leaders of water purifier category are indigenous homegrown brands who have sort of, because this is a product which requires a lot of service attached to it.
Yes.
And these global MNCs were not able to crack the service code in India for many years. I mean, agree, some of them would have a water purifier or not, but if you look at their overall revenue, water purifier would be a negligible portion of it.
This is amazing that you talked about this, because in the transport industry, it's these single or two truck owners.
Yeah.
Right? In every large truck, small truck segment, they dominate 85 to 90% even today. And similarly in the water space,
Yeah.
India is a land of small businesses.
Yes.
Truly.
Truly, yeah.
Right? So you had to contend with these guys who said you can't do it. But did anybody agree to manufacture the prototypes for you?
Yeah. We got someone to manufacture the prototype. It went through various phases. We manufactured the prototype, tested it in a few homes. We even got one OEM to work with us closely. That's how we got the first 1,000 units.
Okay. And was you still in touch with that guy?
Yeah.
So did he appreciate the fact that you gave him 1,000 units order? Or was he larger?
Yeah, these guys are larger. They are not small.
They're not small by any means.
They control 35% of the market.
Yes.
While they may not be as large as the top 3 brands of India, but they're rich businessmen.
Okay.
They're not small guys.
So this guy took a bet on you. Did he say, "Oh, I'll work on credit. You give it to me later"?
Something like that. And we worked and we graduated and then we slowly got to where the R&D of the water happens. Very few people actually are in the business of figuring out what kind of water purifier is required according to what kind of input water. For instance, I'll tell you, let's say I can talk about DrinkPrime, right? We have a business in Bangalore, we have a business in Delhi, we have a business in Mumbai. All 3 places we supply RO water purifiers, but the membrane that is used would vary from city to city. Delhi
And there's a reason for it.
Yes. Mumbai, the input water is relatively softer in nature. The TDS is much lower, maybe 300, 400, 500 is it. Bangalore is between 5 to 800. I'm talking about average, but again, it would vary a lot area to area. Delhi is between 800 to 1200, 1500, right? So Delhi would need a much higher rejection RO membrane. Mumbai would need a much lower rejection RO membrane. And that's just one component. Similarly,
Bangalore would be the same as Delhi, I'm sure.
A little better. Bangalore is somewhere in the middle.
Although Delhi has a river, it still requires...
Yamuna water, yes.
It still requires different...
Yeah, I mean, again, you can't really say based on the river, you can't really peg the water quality.
Because let's say water consumption is groundwater and river water.
Yeah.
Let's look at both cities.
Yeah.
And let's come to Bombay. It's a great example you brought in. Bangalore is Kaveri. I'm sure the western and northern parts of Bangalore would perhaps be covered by the river. Probably some central parts of Bangalore as well. Eastern parts still maybe not. It's funny, Delhi also would get Yamuna's water and there's groundwater, correct?
Yes.
So the pH factor is different from both cities?
Yes, TDS. TDS is different from both the cities, and maybe the river water is similar or not similar, but it also depends on the government's infrastructure, right? I mean,
TDS would be the turbidity?
No, total dissolved solids in water. It shows
total dissolved?
Solids in water.
Okay.
It shows what part per million do we have anything dissolved in water, be it good or bad. That's called TDS. Metals, primarily metals, minerals, all of those.
That was a research that you had to look at.
Yes.
Okay. And what are the findings from both cities?
Yeah. So
because that was the way you built your business.
Yes. So we customize the water filters based on the area's input water quality requirements. Even today, some areas which has, TDS is just one parameter. Let's say another area has high hardness. Hardness is again a different parameter than TDS. You would see sometimes in your homes, there's what we call as bucket scaling or scaling of water. I mean, you'll keep a bucket filled with water for a few weeks, whatever. You'll start seeing white layer inside of it. That's because the water is hard, not necessarily the TDS is high. In that case, the water purifier would need an anti-scalant filter to be added in addition to that.
So you have to go city by city, it's customized.
Yes, city by city, pin code by pin code. That's how we customize, and that's also the reason why any brand that opens has the North Star metric of can I open as many cities as fast as possible. We had a slightly inverted metric.
Yeah, because you've grown slow. I didn't know you were 9 years old. For me, I thought you were a 5-year-old company.
Yeah,
but
so
you said you're
first
9
2-3 years we did not do, we just spent in R&D.
Correct.
Yeah.
Must have been good thing to do.
And not only that, I mean, even with 3 lakhs households, you would assume that we would be present across 20 cities, 50 cities. But we were effectively achieved 3 lakhs in just 3 cities. Mumbai, Pune is very recent, maybe a couple of...
So you're in total 7 cities, huh?
Yeah, I mean, depends on how you look at Delhi. Yeah, Delhi
NCR region.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at the entire NCR region, then 5 cities.
Okay.
If you divide the NCR region, maybe 7-8 cities.
This is interesting, Manas. So you built, and then did you guys know how to price it? Because you straight away went in the subscription model, didn't you? You didn't start off with a fixed model like the others that buy the device, set it up.
In our mind, if a customer wanted to buy, he always had so many options. Why be one of the 100 options? What are you solving for them?
Yeah.
I wanted to solve the problem for people like me who were reliant on the water cans and etc. So the pricing was fairly straightforward. I mean, others may have to do analysis, but we figured out how much are we paying for water every month. And we priced it somewhere in the ballpark region. I mean, so
was that a good decision on hindsight to go subscription?
Yes, absolutely. Because I'll tell you why it is a good decision from the customer side first. Company side we can discuss later.
Yeah.
Any product which requires a heavy amount of service, a subscription model is the most consumer-friendly model there is. Because as a customer, if I fail to deliver good exceptional service up to the customer's standards at any point in time, the customer can simply unsubscribe. So the entire company is not a marketing-oriented company, but a customer service-oriented company. That's a fundamental shift in the way that we operate. I'll tell you now from the customer side, so from the company side.
Yeah.
If I earn 100 rupees every month, before the month starts, I know where my 98 rupees is going to come. I just need to keep these guys happy. Okay. So, hence I can be a lot more towards fulfilling of the promise that I made to my user. So that's the beauty of subscription model.
So basically you're on the go all the time and you're accountable all the time.
Yes.
Because you've already sold, and now it's true because I'm glad you raised 3 examples. Let's look at all 3. Water purifier, we've installed it, but very tough to get a technician to come on a given day.
Yeah.
Very tough because the customer service is bad. Yeah. Same thing with the washing machine, with all the, even with the, it's very tough. I had a washing machine problem where getting the good customer service was difficult because there was a fake website.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I got conned by a fake website and they took my money and I had spent double the brand. I reached out to the brand on emergency basis and they said, no, that was not ours. It's terrible.
Yes.
So water purifier.
But washing machine still doesn't break down quite as often.
Correct. Mine was about 15 years later. It broke down.
Yeah.
And then
water purifier,
air conditioners are the same problem, but they don't break down.
They don't break down quite as often. So whatever needs frequent maintenance, I can't think of a second category in the same space as water purifier. That's why we are only doing water purifiers. If I could think of a second category which requires as much maintenance, possibly we will venture into that someday.
Yeah, so that's customer service is the heart of everything for you.
It's still the heart of everything that we do.
That's the subscription model.
And that's also reflected in the way that we acquire customers. 50% of the customers that we acquire come as referrals, where my existing users bring in their friends to the platform.
Okay.
So we don't have, that's the reason why we don't do IPL, we don't do celebrity endorsements, and we won't have to do it for a while longer if we can just serve our existing guys, right?
And the opportunity is huge, of course.
Opportunity is huge, yes.
Okay, Manas, we've covered so many things. There's so many things to cover. I didn't know that this industry is as disorganized. I knew the mineral water industry was disorganized, whereas everybody has these bottles cropping in. I don't know whether that water is healthy as well. Maybe we could talk about that if we have time. I wanted to talk to you about customer service. All these devices that we install in India, people are very good at selling it now.
Yes.
But the customer service thing is lost.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, it's a problem for me. I've discussed with you washing machine problems, TV problems, especially the Make in India line.
Yeah.
Right. How does Make in India has to succeed if we can also have sustainable customer service? Was that at the center of your, business, and is that the center of your pricing as well? That's what I want.
Absolutely. So, if you look at any brand which has longevity, which has been there for decades, you typically tend to associate them not with the marketing campaign that
Yes.
got you hooked, but always they say with good service.
Yes.
We are not here playing the 2-year, 5-year, 10-year game even. We are here playing the lifetime game,
Okay.
where throughout our lifetime, we would want the water purifier penetration from 12, 15%, whatever it is today, to maybe 30, 40, 50%. For us to be able to do that, we have to be an exceptional service company. And that reputation needs to compound over the years, and that's the only way that we could possibly achieve this.
But where do we stand as India as a customer service thing? And we'll get into how you solve that customer thing. Where does India, do you have same problems with customer service in different products?
So yes, but India, wherever there is a problem, there is a solution. There are companies like One Company and few others, right?
Yes.
Who have sort of exploited this lack of customer service and made a product out of it, which is an app out of it.
Correct.
And you can...
Which is organized.
Yes. Just a couple of days back, my diesel conked off. Maybe a few days back, one switch was not working. So anything that I need, I have someone available at maybe 6 to 12 hours, in a 6 to 12 hour window.
They come and show up.
They come, they show up. Agree that the pricing can be a little better. Agree that the spare parts used could be a little original. But at least the base layer of showing up is
There.
we are there.
Okay.
Maybe in the next phase we would
We
possibly
have changed that perception.
Yeah.
So how does DrinkPrime's customer service? I was pleased to hear that when your customer service guy comes in, or lady, I don't know if you have ladies doing the customer service as well, or being a technician.
We have experimented with them, but
Okay.
very
Very
few of them.
Okay. The thing is, I don't pay them, right? Because it's
Yes.
covered in the subscription.
Yes.
Was that thought through?
Yes, absolutely. So that's a fundamental reason. I'll tell you, any water purifier technician, right? If he is coming to you for free or at a discounted cost, then he will try to sell you something. Then he will do less of service and more of sales. Either he'll have to sell you the AMC package, or he'll sell you a new water purifier. Instead of solving your problem, he will try to get the maximum of your wallet share, that is.
Correct.
I don't want my customer to face that problem. So that's entirely eliminated. You pay me monthly just like you pay your electricity bill and whatever bills. And I will ensure you get safe, clean and healthy drinking water. My guy will show up. He will do everything that is required to ensure that your water purifier is working fine and ensure that you are satisfied with the water. And then he will walk off. There is no exchange of money anywhere involved.
So that way, customer's sticky, right?
Yes, customer is sticky. The experience is better. Sometimes they do complain if the guy is late. I'm not denying that. Yeah, but it's a people problem, right? Sometimes they're late. We are taking steps to ensure that the delays are less and less.
These technicians are good at the electronics. Or do they understand?
Again, a little bit about that, right? Very interestingly, this quick commerce and others have given rise to a huge workforce, maybe lakhs of youth in our cities, who are earning anywhere between 20,000 to 30,000 rupees max,
Correct.
20 to 25, let's say, who are on the bikes throughout the day. So at least these people know how to navigate the city. These people have a two-wheeler with them. Now we take the talent from this pool and we put them into an intensive training program where they get to know about electronics, where they get to know about purification. We have our own large technician training center in near HSR layout itself.
Amazing. This is technicians are flown from all over the country here.
No. Every city has one. The coordinators are flown from all over the city. Every city has 2 to 3 trainers, right? Every city has 2 to 3 trainers. Those trainers get trained here and they obviously get continuously monitored. But yeah, we have a proper classroom setup where these guys are taught everything from customer service to the hardware to the software, everything around it, whatever they need to know. And the best part is we are very proud to say these people, we are changing their lives in a small way, which is they move from this 20-25K to maybe 40, 35, 40, 50K. So a good guy who is exceptional and who is working maybe 6 days with us throughout would earn above 50K for sure, 40 to 50K or maybe more for sure. So these people, the supply is already there. We are making them move up in life. At the same point in time, building a large technician base for us.
That's important. I think you have a 300K base and obviously you're building that for double, right?
Yes.
And that's why you're saying that their lives from just Uber riders or what is that, Swiggy riders or Zomato riders, they can also do this.
Yes.
as a part-time?
No. Also, most of the people that are associated with us are associated on a full-time basis, where we are the primary source of income. The problem with part-time is it's not a gig work. It requires spares. You can't just show up like you would show up to a restaurant, get a food packet and deliver it to somebody's home. Here you have to be in a proper attire. You need to carry proper equipment. Here you need to be a lot more trained. So most of the people do it on a full-time basis.
Interesting. So you are owning the entire value chain.
Yes.
The service to obviously customer coordination. Everything happens on an app, of course.
Yes.
Do you own the manufacturing process at this point of time?
Yes. So we do own the manufacturing process when we work closely with the OEMs to figure out what exactly should go into the filters. After this go into the filters, we have our own, we do some part of assembly in-house as well, and some part of it is done through our trusted assemblers. One of them is in Bangalore, one of them is in Pune, and so on and so forth, where the parts are flown on from all across the India, and they are required to assemble it, and it passes through a couple of quality checks before it gets packaged and gets dispatched to the customer.
You don't sell on Amazon and all that yet?
We don't sell on Amazon, primarily because, nowhere, because primarily these platforms are known as selling platforms. The customer is coming there, comes with a selling mindset. We are a subscription company. So, we are present, of course, in furlenkos of the world.
Okay,
because
furniture.
The renting platforms of the world, we do present in that. But in terms of, in e-commerce, we didn't see that much of success.
No. You launched the B2B vertical.
Yes.
And you appreciate that vertical. Do you think businesses appreciate this?
Absolutely. I'll tell you B2B for a minute, right? As a business, there are a lot of hidden costs that are associated with you consuming water cans. Number one, you're paying rent per square feet. Did you calculate how much of square footage did those water cans consume? Obviously, and who would bill for that? You're just billing, you're paying something for the water can. Second is, there is always an office assistant in every office whose primary job is to ensure that the water cans are coming on time, to carry the water can from one floor to other, to sort of put it back, empty can, bring it one place. So this one guy's salary that you're paying. And in addition to that, the quality aspect, etc., we spoke of is already very much there. So all of this combined, B2B makes it a very nice space for people to adopt water purifiers. And we have seen a good amount of adoption. We have seen adoption from co-working, co-living, to cloud kitchens, to offices, to showrooms, across the spectrum. Even a lot of educational institutions. Very recently we signed up Indian School of Business as one of our customers in Hyderabad, and many others, right?
Okay, this Make in India movement, you're part of it because you're also in the manufacturing.
Yes.
Where is it heading today? All your parts are made in India, right? You're a true 100% made in India? Or you still get the controllers from...
Except for the chipsets. Except for the chipsets, everything is made in
Can't
India.
that be made here?
Chipset manufacturing...
Because yours is high-end, is it? Would you say high-end compute stuff?
May not be, but let's say any kind of compute, the chipset, we still have not had, we still don't have an ecosystem across, from smartwatches to mobile phones to everything in between. Mostly the chipsets are, but there are alternatives to China. I'm not saying everything is getting made in China.
How did you manage the COVID-19 crisis? Because this would have been a supply chain crisis that happened then, right?
Yes. So COVID-19 was two crises, right? First is supply chain crisis. Second is my customer who has already opted. We had about 10,000 customers.
Who went back home also. Many people migrated.
Yeah, the business impact we'll talk later. But customer health impact. He has trusted me for his drinking water. If his water conks off, I would need to go there and fix it and come back.
Yes. Going back to customer service. Yes.
Or forget about those large waters. What will he consume? He can't go out and buy water, of course, right? So what will the person consume who has trusted you? So I remember very distinctly, I was in Commissioner's office the day the lockdown was announced. We got some 12 passes. We were luckily only in Bangalore at that point in time, so it was a little easier to manage. I carried one of them, and we distributed 10 passes among our technicians, and we trained them we gave them those PP suits and everything, and and customers also cooperated, and we, for a good 2-3 months, we decided not to onboard any new customers because of supply chain disruptions, but we will continue to ensure that the people who have trusted us with their drinking water get service on time. That was a promise, and we stood on it, and that goodwill sort of took us far. Where we are, I would say it's because of the customer goodwill that we've created along the way.
I wanted to get into the health aspect of it, but I also want to talk to the supply of water. I've seen a lot of cities in India growing rapidly. Some of them have no piped water from a river source. It's always groundwater, which is not sustainable. And some of them get water from miles and miles and then fill up the apartments for a week. And then, there's tankers that keep coming in. before getting the health aspect of it, I just want you to talk about the sustainability angle of can people who build our cities, I mean, I know they're all private entrepreneurs, and government understand that everything is around sustainability, not just from a construction point of view, but also from a water standpoint of view.
So things are not good currently, but it's getting better every year. I'm very hopeful about the future. But as of now, less than 50% of the new apartments that are there, apartments within the last 5 years that has come up, less than 50% of them would have a government municipal water connection.
It's all groundwater. If there's no groundwater, it is brought in from
Mostly
outside.
there is no groundwater because the complexes are vertically integrated, right? So, I mean, with 30, 40 flats, the groundwater would obviously be not there. And all the cities and all the tech parks that are there, I mean, like I said, 50% of them are reliant on water tankers. Now, these water tankers, while you know that it is water, you can never know for sure what is the source of this water. I'll tell you a couple of sources that are there. Something we have heard is polluted lakes, they go and pump in water. That's one source. Second source is all those bottled water plants that are there, right? Those 20-liter water cans. We all know a water purifier, when they purifies 1 liter of water, gives about 2 liters of water as reject. All these RO water plants have water tankers attached to them.
Correct.
Where they will store the reject water. So whatever the reject water of RO gets filled in a tanker and gets come back to your home again as tanker water, which again you take shower, whatever in. So it's that reject water that is
for the showers, for the drinking.
I mean, drinking
Also,
people have
because it goes through the filtration.
That's your supply water, right? Input water. You open your tap, correct. you see RO ka reject water that is into the tanker and goes to your home. So I mean, this awareness is coming through. Every new apartment today, rainwater harvesting is mandatory. People are doing their bit for it, but still, the pace of urbanization and the pace of this infrastructure is still growing at different paces, and I mean, it'll take some time for.
I think that's an opportunity and a business for you, so that people have safe water. So even with this polluted lake water coming in as drinking water, it gets purified as healthy water through your platform.
Yes.
Right? But it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard for a normal human being to understand the source, right? They have to ask these questions.
Yes. I mean, you always see any major IT park, any major apartment you go to, you'll always see a line of water tankers. So, I mean, everyone should ask the question, where is this water coming from?
Because that's private enterprise doing it. It's not somebody monitoring it, right?
I mean, government is trying its best to monitor it. But I mean, there has to be water somewhere, right?
Okay. I mean, we talked about this, right? Safe drinking water is essential.
Yes.
So at least a portion of, thanks to these devices, these membranes that we have, these RO and copper filtration.
But reverse osmosis process, it converts the water into safe.
You're going to be safe.
Yes.
Right? It's going to wipe out all the base metals.
Yes.
Okay. But at least that way we're safe.
Yeah.
But it's scary for me still. But I'm glad you're in that business. Okay, for those of us who have gone to say that, okay, firstly, access to water, it's safe. And for those of us who appreciate that there is some river water coming into the household as well. And I've seen stages in Bangalore where we've gone from boiling water, taking that mineral water, boiling it, taking the river water and boiling it, and then going to the candlestick kind of approach.
So all of us across,
we've all done
Bangalore,
that.
I am from Odisha, I've also seen the journey, right?
That journey, correct?
Boiling, then came those stainless steel water candles.
Yes.
And then came those gravity-based filters where you put water on top without the,
Okay, I'm used them,
Then water cans.
Yes.
Then slowly electronic water purifiers.
Correct.
Then those electronic water purifiers started progressing. So all of this I've seen. And the reason behind that is fairly simple. The quality of the input water or the groundwater has considerably degraded year on year. If the quality would have sort of hold up, then maybe, the simple boiling would be good enough. But that's not the case.
So you're saying if a person has to drink water, get the magnesium, calcium, iron, sodium, right, and zinc from the water. You're saying that today in water, that's difficult.
So I'll tell you, right? Typically how some of these processes work is, if your input water is up to a certain degree, is of a certain quality, your output water will always have some of these trace minerals. But typically what water purifiers do, like including us, is remineralize some of the RO water. We remineralize it by copper, we remineralize it, making it alkaline in nature. We remineralize it by copper and magnesium, adding it in a
You can put that in your devices?
Yes, you can opt for it. But having said that, are getting your minerals, body's mineral requirement
Just
for
from
water,
water.
is not a great
Okay.
idea.
But you're launching a health kind of device, isn't it? You're getting there.
Yeah.
You said today safe is done. You
Yeah.
want to move further
Yeah, so
plus.
we are venturing into the healthy part of it where
What do you mean by that?
so let's say we were a single product company for the longest amount of time where our promise was I'll give you safe water, you'll not fall sick. Then slowly we started venturing into copper. We have 3 line of devices: copper, alkaline, and mineral plus, which has copper and zinc and magnesium in it, right? So these are the 3 mineral profiles that are available for the customers to opt for it. And and we have
They
seen
appreciate that. Appreciate these things.
yeah. So because the demand has picked up, the awareness among people. I mean, first is the safety awareness, right? That I can't drink tap water. That came in about 10 years back. Before 10 years or maybe 15 years, people used to drink tap water. What is water? What will happen to me? So that awareness came in. That's when the bottled water sales, both the large water cans and this half liter, 1 liter, sort of shot through the roof. Today, no one in India will drink tap water irrespective. Then slowly this awareness is also coming in the recent years where people are talking about, I want alkaline water, I want water with minerals, and slowly further new technologies are coming in where I want protein in my water, I would want vitamin in my water.
Is that a sell or not from you? But is that a sell they're selling, or is it the truth? You can get protein from water.
No, whatever, few companies which are doing it, I am not saying about water purifier, but there are water bottles which are with minerals, vitamin B and D, which are with protein. These are available in a supermarket aisle slowly.
Would you trust them?
I mean,
as a user, should we trust them at this point of time? Is the science proven for them?
Yeah, I mean, they have that. I mean, whatever is their composition, they will display that. And most of the times, you can trust them.
Health is a big segment, isn't it?
Yes, health is a big segment. But the tricky thing about health is very personal in nature. What's healthy for you may not be healthy for me. I'll tell you, right? If you're a small child, infant rather, a TDS of a water devoid of most minerals is good for you because you'll get all your minerals from your mother's milk. Slowly, as you grow up, your mineral profile will keep on changing. If you go to the gym or you sweat a lot, you would need electrolytes in your water. So what you add to your water makes it healthy depends a lot on your lifestyle.
Okay.
So hence, it's a topic that we're still evolving towards. It's coming across in abroad, right? If you go outside India, you'll see in most supermarket aisles, the largest consuming SKUs are not just plain drinking water,
I'm glad
but
you brought that in.
Yeah, but water with either minerals or vitamins or which solves something beyond just plain hydration.
It's funny, a lot of the foreign expats in Bangalore, they go for the sparkling water. Known brands. They don't touch tap water at all.
Yeah.
They may have a device installed in their apartment, but they still go to these bottles. Any particular reason why?
When
you go abroad also to the US, there's a lot of people just carrying bottles. I thought it's environmentally not sustainable. Instead, you have trusted water purifiers at home. Why this fascination with bottles?
Because we have always been taught that anything that is bottled or sealed, somebody is there to take care of it, and we can.
We've outsourced our thought process of water.
Yes. So that's maybe the reason why.
But typically not health, nothing. It's still safe, but it's nothing to add to health or anything, right?
Yes.
It's just another spend that you're making.
Just another spend. But people spend for their peace of mind all the time. So
It's such a fear. Some people don't drink if there's none of these bottles available. Very interesting. On the sustainability angle, you told me you don't want to play that game. Why?
Yep. So
you're a sustainable company, but you don't want to play that game in the market.
Yes. So when you open my website, I don't want to I want to make it more relatable to you as a consumer. I don't want to put put a headline on my website, making drinking water sustainable, accessible. No. I want to say safe, clean drinking water for your family at 500 rupees. I want to make it more relatable that way. The more I go towards we do have sustainability. We have got some investment from funds which are focused on sustainability. We have all of that. And we do project that in the right circles. But in my generic marketing, I'm a consumer brand. I would need to sort of say it in a way that is relevant to my consumer and not really alienate myself from my consumer.
Got it.
So I've seen many of these sustainability websites, right?
Yeah.
Even though they're consumer brands, you'd be hard-pressed to find out what exactly are they doing.
Yeah.
Except for the big jargon. So I don't want to go there. I
understand.
Yeah.
These few things in the 9 years of being in business, how has that changed you personally? One is the pursuit of wealth, of the creation of wealth. How do you actually say that, yes, wealth is one thing, managing a team is one, there's several pieces to it. Does each of it change you? How do you manage yourself in handling each of these? Because the stakeholders, let's say employees would be technicians also. Then, you have investors, you have OEMs as stakeholders, you have government as a stakeholder, and you have B2B as a stakeholder now. And then your co-founder relationship, right? There's about 6 or 7 stakeholders.
Yes.
How do you handle this community? Some of the steps that if you look back in 2015 to now, was it harder to look at all these pieces, and that's where you start delegating and just manage the core, which is talking about DrinkPrime to the primary stakeholder who's customer, or do you even delegate that and you focus on the operations of the business?
So as a founder, your role, someone once told me when I was starting off in my career that if you're an employee, make yourself indispensable. And if you're a founder, make yourself redundant. So typically I've seen best founders typically outsource or bring in someone in the areas that they are the best at and focus on the areas where they're weakest at.
Yes.
That's one thing that is...
That works?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Because where you're good at, you can effectively delegate.
Okay.
And you can know if the person is doing a good job, great job, or a mediocre job, because you yourself are great at it, right?
Absolutely.
And the journey of entrepreneurship, it is a journey and you have to enjoy the journey. If you are in it for the prize that is at the end of it, right? First of all, nobody knows whether the prize is going to come in 3 years, 5 years, or how many years. And second is, when things go tough, you will give up very easily. Versus if you are enjoying the process of it and if you are building it for the sake of building it. What would you rather do? You are put on this earth to do something, right? So what would you rather do than solving a problem which people like us face? So that's what we are happy doing, and that's what we have been doing. And with respect to the stakeholder management, people typically confuse this a lot. What everybody expects from you is 2 things. Number 1 is showing up every day. Second is some amount of honesty and
integrity,
honesty, integrity, and sort of transparency, rather, right? Things will go bad.
Accountability and transparency, yes.
Accountability. Nobody can be accountable for whatever. You can just be accountable for your own effort, let's say.
Correct.
Accountability for your effort and transparency about how things are going to the level that it is possible. And that's what we have been doing. And I don't think it's that difficult.
Correct.
The harder thing as an entrepreneur is to learn new skills, is to figure out how to market. The company has to figure out how to do the trade-offs with the customer and other things. But
that's how you changed.
Yes. I don't think, people normally overplay that investor relations and other things are very difficult, but they are rational people and you just need to be upfront with them, and we have not faced any issues as such.
So that's how you transform. You don't look at it as an issue, but as a process of...
Yes.
It's a never-ending process of learning.
Like every month...
It's okay to be said no to also.
Yes. The company is yours. The company is not theirs. You have to be firm about what you want. Otherwise, people will... your employees will drag you in different directions. Your technicians will drag you into different directions. Everybody will drag you into different directions. It's your vision which you need to execute on. That's number 1. Number 2 is you will have to give... let's say like with us, we do a weekly once town hall where we speak to all the employees. Sometimes various leaders of our company speak. Sometimes I and my co-founder speaks to all the employees. We do a monthly once communication with our investors where we send out a MIS and few other things. So these are some of the basic frameworks on which the transparency is based. And as long as we keep on doing it more often than we don't, things are fine.
This is amazing. This podcast has been amazing on many levels. If I have to summarize, drinking safe water is the key, right? And if you're watching this, then I would like you to drink safe water. So there are subscription models.
You will have to drink safe water, rather. 70% of all the diseases are waterborne. So
absolutely.
Please don't fall sick. Please drink safe water.
So supplementing water for your minerals, it's a myth. Water is just a part of the entire process. And if I have to say anything, what we've learned from today's podcast is that it takes time to build a product. It takes time to convince customers that you are there for the long run. And I think on many levels, Manas has taught me one thing, which is about letting go of what you're not in control of. That's why you make yourself redundant, but you manage the things you're good at, right? My last question, what are you reading or what do you get influenced by at this point of time?
So, I mean, again, it comes. I mean, I once read. I once read a tweet, right, a couple of weeks back. Uh, my company's culture changes depending on what book my founder reads. So please don't be that founder.
That's amazing.
Please have a thought process of your own.
Yes.
I have read multiple books. I've learned from many of them, and I have been guilty also of following some books beyond their context that is there. So yes, I mean there are all good books out there. There's some written by venture capitalists, investors, founders from the US, some from India, and so on and so forth. End of the day, there is enough and more knowledge out there, but you will get all the knowledge. Most of the founders I know, the problem is not with knowledge. The problem is with application.
So be natural.
Yes, be natural. Have your own thought process, have your own viewpoint, and believe in yourself. This is a very lonely journey. If you don't believe in yourself, why would an employee believe in you? Why would an investor believe? Why would anybody believe in you? So immense amount of self-belief that I will change this, which people before me have not been able to change. But I know something and I will change this. That is the core of entrepreneurship.
Manas, thank you so much. So guys, please like and subscribe, okay, and ask questions, because that is the basis for running a podcast, is to get you people to interact with us so people like Manas can answer your thoughts. My primary concern is India has to drink healthy water. So go discover healthy water. This is Drink Prime. Thank you so much, Manas.
Thank you.